Hello, and all. Welcome to another episode of MMA Vision Analysis. Is it time for Tom Aspinall to find a replacement opponent for Jon Jones? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. Before getting started, make sure to like, subscribe, click that notification to get all of this that is new from this channel, your channel, one and only MMA Vision Analysis. Some reports recently, I got familiar with the news from watching Good Guy, Bad Guy with obviously Daniel Cormier and Chael Sonnen, in which in the very recent episode they suggested that Tom Aspinall has ideas of a replacement fighter for Jon Jones. I don't know how to feel about that because they kind of hit it right on the head. When I believe it was Daniel Cormier that said, hey, if Tom Aspinall decides to take on a different opponent and he ends up losing, he's going to find himself in similar situation to, let's say, a guy like Tony Ferguson, right, who reached the top but not quite, and then, eventually found opponents to give him the losses and eventually derailed his career. Is it going to be the case for Tom Aspinall? It is very unfortunate for the guy, to be honest with you. The only reason that it's, the fight's been delayed for as long as it has, obviously it's because it's Jon Jones that we're talking about, right? We're not talking about an average fighter, a different fighter. And I believe, giving people their proper respect. And for Jon Jones, it's just I don't even know if the UFC or Dana White would feel right forcing the guy, taking into consideration the relationship between Dana White and Jon Jones. Allegedly, it's a good relationship. I wouldn't assume that, Dana White is just trying to push the guy to fight, not looking out for his legacy or obviously amount of compensation and all that good stuff. So it's a very complicated thing, and unfortunately for Tom Aspinall, he finds himself in this situation, but eventually, Johnny's gonna have to either relinquish that title or make the fight happen, because with Alex Pereira losing 313, you have no other argument. You're just gonna have to fight the guy, right? News suggesting that he wants 6 months from the time that the fight's official, and okay, that's reasonable. I do understand that he's probably asking for numbers that are not normal for perhaps UFC fighters, unless you're like Conor McGregor or something. And hey, I believe you should give the guy money, but I'm not the business brains of the UFC, so I don't know how that would or wouldn't make sense financially, unless somehow Riyadh season finances this fight in particular, which I don't see why. They're financing everything else. It's Jon Jones. Let's get together with Turki Al-Sheikh and make this fight a part of an event similar to UFC 306 at the Sphere, perhaps once again at the Sphere, and make it a mega event. And I think with the support of Riyadh season, Turki Al-Sheikh, you can make this happen, and you can give Johnny what he's asking for. Because in all honesty, it's not fair to Tom Aspinall. I don't think it's fair to most UFC fans that want to see that division move on. With all respect to Johnny, we're giving Johnny all the respect he's deserved, and that's why the fight hasn't been made yet. But generally speaking, it's either relinquish that title if you're not going to fight again, or fight the guy. And for the UFC, we have to pay the man. In order for us to pay the man, we're probably going to have to get together with Turki Al-Sheikh Riyadh season to make another mega event happen, because what other fighter really deserves a mega event? Active fighter, other than Jon Jones. Obviously, there are other handful of fighters that would deserve mega events, but obviously Johnny's on the top of that pyramid. And I believe you can give the guy 20, 15, 20, 25 million. I think thanks to a Riyadh season, I think this would be possible. And look, Will it have like any sort of ROI in terms of like pay-per-views and stuff? Who knows? Perhaps, maybe. You have, Tom Aspinall and his fan base, which is predominantly in England, and I would assume, other chunks of Europe would be in support of Tom Aspinall. So this kind of is a mega event. It is a mega event, obviously, with Jon Jones. So it's like the United States versus England, sort of say. It's going to be a big event, and I think we can put together something that a card that deserves this fight to be its main event, which is, I think, something similar to the UFC 306 at the Sphere, and even bigger, perhaps once again at the Sphere, for Johnny, and give Johnny $25 million. Let's make the fight happen. If you made it this far, appreciate you for sticking around. Please let me know what you think in the comments and subscribe for more.